Perfect. So, a very good afternoon to all. My name is Rohit Thakur. I welcome everyone, all the attendees for this session. We are like, if I talk about, I'm sure the people who are following us, they must be going through our previous sessions as well, previous webinars that we have conducted on very interesting topics such as um, ethical hacking. We have talked about developing a mindset of an entrepreneur. We have also discussed about networking, right? And there have been some interesting webinars which have already been taken. Few of them have been taken earlier by Dr. Pankaj, who's also the esteemed guest on today's session as well, today's webinar as well. So most of the people who have been with us for now a couple of months and more, they know we try to advocate and we try to make sure that we are able to spread more knowledge about artificial intelligence and machine learning and things related to the IT world, which are sometimes obsolete for many of the people itself, right? So with that, my name is Rohit Thakur. I am the manager sales and operations with FirstUniv, right? And with that, I'll be like, when I talk about today's topic, we are going to be talking about the cloud computing, right? So cloud computing is a very interesting subject. When I talk about, there are certain things which are included in it. They're going to be like a lot of talk today about servers, databases, and software analytics, and what all AI engines are required for that. To talk about cloud computing, we have with us Dr. Dr. Pankaj Vaidya, right? Welcome, Dr. Pankaj.
Thank
So,
you.
Dr. Pankaj is a head of school, Yogananda School of Artificial Intelligence and Data Sciences at FirstUniv, and he's been taking webinars with us. People who have not seen his previous webinars, they can go check out our YouTube page, and they'll definitely have an access to it, and they can see what all Dr. Pankaj Vaidya has shared with us, right? With that, I would welcome Dr. Pankaj Vaidya to take on forward and educate us about cloud computing, and so that we can continue the session.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you very much.
Sure.
From previous webinars, we are already talk about AI, deep learning, machine learning, and different things. But today, what I want to tell you are basic cloud computing. What is cloud computing? How it affect us? What is the use of it? How we can deal with cloud computing? So agenda for today is very simple. We are not going into the tough discussions. We are just giving you the idea what is cloud computing, what is its basic concept, what is virtualization, and what is the purpose and benefits of cloud. Definitely, there are opportunities and challenges also. There are disadvantages of cloud computing, and what will be the future of cloud. So we are going to discuss about those things. So what is cloud basically? What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a general term used to describe new class of network based on computing that taken place over the internet. Once the internet comes to our life, everything moves to the cloud, right? Basically, step on from utility computing, collection of group integrated network hardware, software, infrastructure, collaboratory called a cloud platform. Previously, we need to have our personal laptop with lot of memories, lot of RAMs. Then we used to have external hard disk, and we can't carry all those data to some other places. So cloud has given us facility not in the hardware, but in the software and also in the network services as a client. So these platforms hide the complexity, detail of the underlying infrastructure, user and application by providing very simple graphic interface of APIs. So cloud basically the platform provide demand service that always, anywhere, anytime. Best example, Office 365. I don't need to have any software on my computer. I just log into internet, goes to my Office 365, all my files, all softwares of Microsoft is available there. And then sometime I pay for use as need, elastic scale, up and down. Most of the time when we do AI, we need to simulate so many things on our computer, but our computers are not that powerful. So we can use cloud services for that, and we can pay directly to the cloud and use that services, which are powerful, scalable, and which are very fast in nature. So we just pay and our work will be done on those servers which are settled in cloud. Then hardware and software services are available to general public, enterprises, corporations, and business markets. Cloud computing basically is an umbrella term used to refer internet-based development and service. Yes, I want to repeat here, if no internet, no cloud service will be available to you. Few characteristics define cloud application service as infrastructure. They are remotely hosted services or data are hosted on remote infrastructure. Ambiguities, service or data are available from anywhere. And then commodified, the result is utility computing model like that of traditional utilities like gas and electricity. You pay what you want and how much you use, you pay. So cloud services are basically like gas services or electricity bill services. As much as you use, you pay for that and move ahead. So many of the companies are delivering services. Most of them are Google, Microsoft, and then AWS. So Google has a private cloud that is used for delivering Google Docs. Most of you use Google Docs service, and many other service of its use like emails, document application, text translation, Google Maps, web analytics, and so many things. Same as Microsoft Office 365 online service allow our business content and intelligent tools to be moved into the cloud, and Microsoft currently make its Office application available on a cloud. So I have given you example before. I just want a email ID on Microsoft, log into that. I can use complete Office setup there without loading any software on my computer. And once I create a file, that can be stored on a cloud. And whenever I want that file to be used, I can access it from anywhere. So Salesforce.com is another company run its application set for its customer in cloud. This is a different type of services. For example, we have developed a FirstUniv platform. If we put it in our server, we always have to keep track of electricity or security and everything. So we put it on a cloud, and cloud keep it secure for us, and it can be accessed by anyone who have login ID or access to it. So this is the another part. So basic concept is cloud computing can be divided into two categories: service model and development model. Service model comes under SaaS, as IaaS, PaaS. These are the different models. And development model has public cloud, hybrid cloud, and private cloud. So these comes in development model. So we will go through each one of them. So what is development model? Basically, development model define the type of access the cloud has. That is how the cloud is located. Private cloud means I have a company in different metropolitan cities or some very entire cities. So I just create my own cloud and we all put data there. So we need not to call anyone to give us some file or data. We just go to the cloud, share the file, download the file, edit it, do things and send it to back. Then there are community clouds. You Community clouds are like, you can say, just United Nations have a community cloud for environment, for nature protection. All those clouds are available. And then there is a public cloud, which is a basically a network of different things, like your Facebook or Twitter, or you can say Insta. These are all in cloud. What you do, you just upload your photo on Facebook and it will be displayed to you there, and anytime anyone can see it from another place and give you comments like that. So this is a development model. And then is the hybrid model. Hybrid model basically is combination of private, community cloud and public cloud. So these are the hybrid clouds. So public cloud basically allows system and service to be easily accessible to general public. Public cloud may be less secure because it has openness. For example, emails, Facebook, sometimes your Facebook account get hacked. Private cloud allows system and services to be accessible within an organization. It offers increased security because of private nature. Obviously, when it is limited to some people, so it is very easy to make it secure because we have logs of some limited people and we can identify who has breached the cloud or who has done some silly mistake on the cloud. Then community cloud allows system and services to be accessible by a group or organization. So I already told you, United Nations has some different groups, different activities which are protecting environment and which are working on a child healthcare and those. So they make their own cloud across the world and join. Only those people who working on these organizations can join this cloud. The hybrid cloud is the mixture of public and private cloud. However, the critical activities are performed using private cloud, while the non-critical activities are performed using public cloud. So best example of this is banks. Whenever they have to give you, they have to do some entries in their ledgers, or they have to update your accounts, then they perform it on private cloud. And when they give you an app to just transfer money like UPI and all, so these activities are performed on public cloud, which can be accessed by public. So service model, now we come to the service model, SaaS, PaaS and SaaS. SaaS stand for software as a structure, which means server storage network, and PaaS means platform as a service, which is server storage network. And then IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So these are basically used for three different categories. End user use SaaS, software developers use PaaS, while infrastructure architectures use infrastructure as a service. So these three models are there. So we will discuss them in detail now. Infrastructure as a service is directly basically delivered to the technology infrastructure as on demand and scalable service. It provides access to fundamental resources such as physical machine, virtual machine, and virtual storage. So basically, when we have to store some data, we need some servers, we need some storage devices, and these are maintained by cloud infrastructure as a service. And when you use these services, they are basically built on usage basis. For example, I told you, if I want to do a AI and I want to run a simulation on a very big data, which may take a lot of time while doing on computer. So I just put this service on cloud and I use their servers, and their servers will run my simulation and give back me the result. And the time for which I have used those servers will be billed to me. So usually multi-tenant virtual environment is there. and can be coupled with managed service or operating system and application support. So this is all about infrastructure as a service. So best service provider in these fields are Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Servers, Google Cloud Platform, and IBM Cloud Platform. But Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services are very much popular in India for such type of services. Then we come to the platform as a service. Platform as a service PaaS basically is the runtime environment of application. PaaS provide development and development tools. So PaaS provide all the facility required to support complete life cycle of building and delivering web application and service entirely from the internet. Typical application must be developed with the particular platform in mind. Multi-tenant environment, highly scalable multi-tool architecture. So this is where FirstUniv or all things come across. When we develop a thing, we put it in on a server, but that server has to be secure so that no one can breach in and do something bad with our data. So platform as a service, we create a service, we put it in a cloud, or we can modify that service on the cloud. We can edit that on the cloud. We can make changes in that cloud, and that service is available to users. Very good example is if you have a very big website where you will host it in some engines which are basically service providers which host your website on their server and make sure that they are secure and no one will breach your website and everything will be secure and fine. So platform as a service is that. So Morphos, Salesforce, Amazon, Lambda, all these companies are working on this. And the last thing is software as a service. So as the name indicates, some software application and they are stored on the servers and end user directly reach to the cloud and use them. SaaS is a software delivery method that provide licensed multi-tenant access to software and its function remotely as web-based service. So Office 365 is the best example of it. Once you log in to the Microsoft account, you can directly go to Office 365. There is application like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all other applications like publishers. So you just use those applications, save your data on the cloud, and just come back. They are also used as build-based uses, or they give licenses for which you have to pay these licenses, and then they licenses are given freely to education institutes, but the charge for faculty, as we already have Office 365 license, so we annually renew it for students. It's free from the university side, but faculty will be charged. So it's a very good initiative where laptop has smaller memories, less RAM, smaller hard disk. So we use this facility on those laptop also, and we can use any software there. So these are the basic companies. I already told about Microsoft 365, Google Apps. Everyone has used Google Forms and Google Docs, Salesforce, and then EOX is the another company which deal with these things. So virtualization, basically virtualization means workspace virtualization, the abstraction of execution environment that can be dynamically available to authorized client by using well-defined protocol resources. For example, CPU memory share, software configuration. So virtualization workspace means basically we give our clients all the access of a cloud with some agreement, and they can use all the resources of that cloud like CPU, memory, softwares operated there, and as well as operating system. Implementation on virtual machine. abstraction of physical host machine, hyperversion intercepts for emulate instruction from VMS, allow management of VMS, etc. Basically, just think about a cloud of a bank. Bank cloud has a big database which have all the client address. So these are on cloud. So person sitting on a Singapore or India can match that database from bank and with, so this will be on private cloud, and they can do the implementation, upgradation of cloud as time to time, and provide infrastructure APIs. So we can always create plugins to hardware to support the structure of the things. So advantages of virtual machines: run operating system where the physical hardware is unavailable. This is the virtualization has first advantage. If you don't have operating system, you can run your system from anywhere. Easier to create new machine, backup machine. We can create virtual machines here. See, if I have a laptop with Unix operating system, with VMware, I can create a virtual machine on my system with Windows also, or Linux also. So software testing using clean install operating system and softwares. Emulate more machines than that are physically available. So all these things are advantages of virtual machine. Easy migration of virtual machines, easy shutdown. No need to shut down them. They can work 24/7 continuously. So all these are the advantages of virtual machine. So what is the purpose and benefit of cloud? Cloud computing enables companies and applications which are system infrastructure dependent to be infrastructure less. For example, I have developed a software using AI, but it need a very high memory to run on my computer. So I put it on a computer and give access of this application to my client. Client can run this application with a very small laptop and directly access that machine which is in cloud. By using cloud infrastructure on pay and use on demand, all of us can save its capital and operation investment. If we want to save data on our system, then we need to have very large servers, then firewalls to secure them and different things, and this will cost a lot. And when I install this for my university, I'm not expert of all. I have to call some expert also who come and visit and make changes in these things, and then continuously I have to upgrade these. But when you use cloud, you pay less as compared to the infrastructure cost, and your results will be better. Clients can put their data on the platform instead of their own desktop PCs on their own servers. This is the another advantage. They can put their application on cloud and use server within the cloud to processing the data, manipulation, etc. So we move further to, I will show you a little video here, and I hope this will cover all the things which I have told you.
What's all the buzz about cloud computing? To get started, we need a busy person. Let's call her Sandy. Sandy not only wears awesome cowboy boots, she's the technology partner in a company. Medium size. 18 people in the US. What do? How about accounting, tax service? They need desks, chairs, computers, and also software. They need servers for their database, a backup system. They need a safe room for all these machines, a network that keeps them all connected, and the clients connected to them. And they need an IT employee to install it. But because the company is too small, they don't have their own IT guy. They have to call an external consultant. Once everything is set up, it works. Until they start to use it. 18 people use the system in 18 different ways, so the database turns into data chaos. Once in a while, updates have to be made too. Servers renewed, old data migrated again, and Sandy's company is growing. More and more important data continues to be stored in the office, in one place. Risky. And Sandy, she wants to have her life back again, spending her spare time Western dancing or playing golf, not worrying about technical stuff. Why not do the same thing as back at home? Her music collection, stored on the web. Movies, she watches them online. Family pictures, she shares them on the net. Her encyclopedia is called Wikipedia now, and so on. Why shouldn't her business do the same and move to the cloud? Like this. Everything is stored in this safe and secure place, and all she needs to access it is a simple web browser. This is called cloud computing. Put your whole workflow on the internet. And if your business grows, simply add more users to your cloud, like this. Or remove them again. Finally, Sandy feels free. And her husband likes that as well. Wherever she is, everything is just one click away. Okay, we're working on that one. Imagine, by 2020, every byte in the digital universe is expected to live in the cloud, or at least spend some time in it.
So this is all about cloud computing. So what is a big deal? Using high scale, low cost provider, anytime, any place via browser, rapid scalability, incremental cost and load sharing. Can forget need to focus on local IT infrastructure and concern. Definitely there are few concerns also. Performance, reliability, control of data and service parameters, application features and choices, interaction between cloud providers, non-standard API, mix of SOAP, REST, privacy, security, compliance, trust. These are all the concern right now. But there are a lot of benefits. Companies can reduce the expenditure on their infrastructure and saving this expenditure for companies' growth. This is a lower barrier to require fewer in-houses IT resources and provide system support. Scalability, flexibility. Companies can start with small deployment and grow to the large deployment fairly rapidly and then scale back to if necessary. So all the flexibility of cloud computing allow companies to use extra resources at peak time and enable them to satisfy consumer demand and reliability. Service using multiple redundant sites can support business community and disaster recovery. So cloud service provider do the system maintenance and access through maintenance APIs and do not require application installation on PC, thus further reducing the maintenance requirement. So with the benefits, there are some disadvantages, as I told you. So cloud computing is impossible if you can't have any internet connection. So definitely to go on a cloud, you need a internet connection. A dead internet connection means no work, and in an area where internet connections are fewer and inherently unreliable, this could be a deal breaker. Stored data might not be secure. And why cloud computing? All of your data is stored on a cloud. The question is how secure the cloud is. So can unauthorized user gain access to your confidential data? So again, it depends upon the service provider who are providing you the service. Then data stored in cloud is safe, rapid across the multiple machine, but there is a chance that your data go missing. As till now, we don't find this, but it all depends what type of service provider you are looking for and how better he is providing the service, like any daily business store. So the future, many of the activities loosely grouped together under cloud have already been happening, and centralized computing activities now phenomena. But one of the major disadvantages where we install this cloud computing, lot of heat immersion is there. So now a new term has generated, that is fog computing. Fog is below the cloud, And fog computing, basically idea of not storing data on a single cloud, but make a small hybrid clouds, and they all are connected together so that emission and security increase and data loss will be remain. So this is all from my side. Any questions, any queries? So I'm there to handle. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for this insightful webinar, Dr. Pankaj. I am sure many of the attendees are going to have certain questions regarding the program, and we'll answer those questions one by one. So it is very easy to ask questions. You guys can type down your question on chats. You can raise hands, or you can write it on Q&A, and we'll take these questions one by one. And meanwhile, there is as such, there is no question itself. Although this particular subject is a lot of interest, I also have a lot of curiosity about it. I would want to ask Dr. Pankaj, you only, about what is fog computing that you discussed in the later part of the the webinar
basically
itself.
The environment problem is there with cloud computing, where we keep these servers and storage devices a particular area. Lot of heat is generated when we have very heavy machines there. So lot of environmental issue was there. So it was thought that instead of keeping these devices at one place, we can put it in small pieces in different places and join them together. So make a hybrid mesh of cloud, so that once any accidental damage is done to the cloud at one particular place, so data will be remain for other places. So fog computing is a new concept which is emerging nowadays. It means that we distribute the cloud in smaller part to different locations, and those locations are interconnected with each other. So infrastructure will be smaller than before, and it will be easy to maintain also, because we have small portion at different look. Definitely manpower will increase, but it has major advantage for environment and also for the security of data.
Great. And okay, so we have a question from Pranjali, and Pranjali with the Patak, and asking, cloud is a software?
Cloud is a computer, cloud is a software, cloud is a service provider. Cloud is basically a machine stored in some place where we can put software, where we can put our website, where we can develop our AI applications. So it's basically a machine which is virtual. For me, it is virtual because I have a very smaller laptop. I can use any software from that. I can run my script on that. I can store my data on that. So basically, if I give you a simple word, it's a very big computer which store world's data. It has software, it has infrastructure, it has data storage capacity. So cloud is everything, and we just go and access the things. I think this will clear your doubt.
Certainly. In a whole, it is a whole big computer, which we cannot see, of course.
Right.
We have Rahul, who's asking us, what are the different data types used in cloud computing?
Again, I tell you, data types are basically used in programming languages. So if you are using any programming languages as a service, then you have to go to cloud. They work normally as you work in computer system. There is no different data types than computer system, but the only difference is your hard disk, which is processing the data slow, they have a very fast hard disk, so your data will process fast. If you want to develop an application on cloud, they process it much faster because they have number of hard disks, multi-processing techniques, and they can develop the things on cloud. where if I use that on my computer, I do a simulation, it takes 24 to 27 hours on my laptop or my high-end computer. So cloud can give that data to me within a 30 minutes, seconds, or nanoseconds. So it's not about data types. Data type, anything can be stored. It can be website, it can be application, it can be app.
I guess
Right?
Rahul got confused here with data types. Data types like numerical, blobs, or anything.
Anything.
Anything can be
So
stored. Yeah. So I guess Rahul has a different question or something. He just got confused here. Okay, we have Raman with us, who's asking us which platforms are used for large-scale cloud computing.
this is a new term for me, large scale cloud computing, because cloud computing is itself very large. Large scale cloud computing means you have thousands of servers with you, which is all those are high end, which can be accessed from anywhere. You can put your data on that and anytime retrieve that data. So they have, as I said in the first question, imagine a very powerful big computer which can store millions and trillions of data and trillions of software. So you can use any software anytime. You can store any data anytime. You can fetch any data anytime from those servers. So,
Yeah. Yeah, please. Sorry.
so I don't think large scale cloud computer use different platform. There are only 3 platforms in cloud. You can use as an infrastructure. You can use it as a software, and you can use it as a software storage.
Okay. So we have Pranjali who is asking, is cloud computing necessary, or are there any other options in the market available with us related to cloud computing?
So definitely cloud computing is not necessary now, till now, but in future it will be necessary, because if you want to do a particular task which is very complicated, and for example you all are interested in AI, one day you have to write a code and run it on your computer. Your computer can't do that because it has very limited storage capacity and very slow processor. So then you have to move to the cloud. And even if you want to store a website, you take your own server, you have to maintain that server, you have to pay for backup, for maintenance, and even then you have to check everything on your computer for maintenance. But if you are getting a service which is taking care of all those things for you, and you are just updating your website and connecting with your clients, so why we don't need it? So definitely in future everything will be on cloud. For you don't need to install it. One other example I can give you, for example, if you want to buy Microsoft Office, it's cost around 8,000 rupees for you, and you can't upgrade it to the latest version without any input of your money. But once you log into Office 365, buy a license of 200 rupees and use your of Microsoft Office for whole year, but it will not be installed on computer. So it don't need your storage space, don't need your computer's configuration, so you can directly use it. So why not go on cloud?
Yeah, there are more advantages than the disadvantages.
Definitely.
Yeah. We have Sudhanshu with us, Dr. Pankaj. She's asking, what is the difference between cloud computing and mobile computing?
Basically, everything is same. If you are using a mobile data, you are using it for Facebook. So Facebook also has a cloud application. Facebook has its own servers maintained like cloud. You are uploading data to that cloud. It's same. You use from desktop or you use from mail. Mobile cloud is not different than this cloud. All the these applications, Facebook, Twitter, all those all are also working on cloud. So once you upload data, then they can display the data. So it's not different. Basically, both are same. They are not. There is no difference between cloud or mobile cloud.
Yeah, definitely. The best one another example is your Netflix. You don't have to buy CDs now. I'm sure The younger generation, they must be wondering if we show them CDs, VCDs, and DVDs, they
Yeah.
would be astonished. What is it? Now we have Netflix and other things, which is all working on cloud computing, and the whole data is all the streaming data is stored there. And with that, that was our last question, Dr. Pankaj. If any of the attendees have another questions, please write down so that we can answer that before, because it is better to ask questions than to have doubts than to go with doubts in this webinar. So if no one has any questions, I guess this was a very insightful overview about cloud computing. There is a whole subject on cloud computing, which definitely students can. This was just scratching the surface, just to make understand what cloud computing is, so that many of the candidates who must have attended the session, they also can find it interesting and can pursue that in the future as well. So as I do not see any questions further, Dr. Pankaj, so we'll be ending this session, right? All of the people who still have questions regarding the program, okay, we finally Pranjali is asking another question. How much data can be stored in it? So
there is no limit. How much you pay, that much you can store.
You can get access to unlimited of it if you're ready to pay unlimited. I believe all the data nowadays, like rest aside the individual data that I have from my accounts and everything, all these bigger companies, we can take Amazon, right? Amazon has to manage enormous data, right? All that is stored in a cloud, right? So I guess that answers your question, Pranjali. So there is no limit of it. One can actually, the bigger you get, the more you can pay, the more access you can get of it. All right. And further, people having doubts left regarding the programs that we share, we have a program on cloud computing. We have a PG diploma program in cloud computing. We are introducing that from the month of August. We would be very happy to answer more questions about the program, wherein you can, guys, you can directly contact your counselors for that. Definitely they'll answer, and what are the process of admission, we'll be able to answer there itself. We have another program, advanced certification in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Any of you who are willing to pursue the program can reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer your queries which you're not able to, if you're not able to get it over here. Those are regarding the program. So with that, I would be very, very thankful to Dr. Pankaj Vaidya, sir. Thanks once again. You've been taking these sessions and you've been helping students understand around, right? And that has been very. And while leaving, we've got another question. Ahmed, this is the, if Dr. Pankaj Vaidya, this is the last question we can answer. And after that, we can call it off. It is Ahmed Sheikh who's asking, what is eucalyptus in cloud computing?
Oh, I have to go to very deep to explain this question. So I will answer you. I have noted this question and I will answer it you by mail. Definitely. I will.
Yes.
So Rohit, please send me his mail ID. I will answer because definitely. I have to go for another meeting in 5 minutes. So,
sure.
Okay. He has sent them. I will note that.
I'll copy it to you. No problem.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Just give me a second. So. All right, I've done that. Okay. Okay. So thank you everyone. Ahmed, you'll get your answer on your mail. Pankaj Vaidya would be happy to elaborate you all the things on the mail itself. Okay, another question from another student itself. So if Dr. Pankaj, I don't want to force you this answering all this. If quickly you can do it, we can do it. We can complete it.
It is an open source software platform to implement infrastructure. Dear students, nothing is free. You have to pay for it. If you want to use It's not a software that open source. It is a full machine which you are using. So you have to pay, but there are so many additions, some student addition for AWS. He's providing the labs on cloud computing with free of cost for the education institute students. So you can use that. Another question, private or hybrid cloud computing environment. If you want to create your own cloud system, then you can't use those simple systems which you have. You have to take then very costly high-end system with very large storage. So it's not possible at that time to pay this much amount for your services. But if you hire a cloud computing service, it is much lesser than your total infrastructure cost. So you can use that. What is meant by software as a service? So I already told you Office 365. Office 365 is sorry, give me a second.
Yeah.
All of us previously purchased Microsoft Office, and it cost a lot for us, almost 5,000 to 6,000 rupees. And we never get it upgraded to Office 2021 or latest version. Then software as a service, Microsoft Office 365 is a cloud service which give you all Microsoft Office like Word, Excel, PowerPoint as a service. And it charge hardly 200 to 300 rupees license for a year. And it give you latest updates and everything is latest there.
Got it. Even to answer those.
Who are the direct customers in cloud ecosystem? All the companies, not single users like me. I'm not the cloud user, but my university, where I put the data of my whole 5,000 students and my whole ERP system, that all is on cloud. And I can tell you, FirstUniv is also running from a cloud, Amazon Web Services. So all the big companies right now using cloud, but we are also using cloud without paying it, like Facebook, Twitter, and even small things which are on cloud, which you can access directly from your mobile.
Another example is OneDrive. I believe
OneDrive, yes.
If some students they buy a laptop recently in 1 or 2 years, you get 25 GBs of access of OneDrive. That is also a cloud storage. So that helps you to work on your system in real time, and you can access your applications faster than otherwise, right? You have to so that all those things helps you in that particular part.
So another question is there. Sir, please explain what is hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is basically a private cloud plus public cloud. What it means, when we talk about a cloud of a bank, so bank has a personal private cloud which interact between different branches, but in the meantime they have to give the access to the customers also. So they set some security features while giving this opportunity to your customers. So this is the basically hybrid. When we public is using that bank network, this is on hybrid, and when they are using internally, this is private.
Okay, so Reena is asking what is cloud computing architecture. See, Reena, this is a very short section. We can where Dr. Pankaj could explain you about architecture. Architecture is designing how cloud computing works. So if you make a house, you have to have an architecture for it. Similarly, if you're designing a cloud-based database, cloud database, you have to have an architecture for it. So I believe that answers it, and I believe it would be very difficult for anyone to answer that question in that limited period.
Currently. It is a very big thing. If I start on explaining architecture, it will take almost 2 hours to me. So if you are interested, go to a Amazon site, just log in as a developer. You will get a lot of information about the architecture there. Just go and study that.
Yeah. And that is, I believe, free of cost as well.
Yeah,
AWS make it accessible to students, which
students
is
without
without cost
any
itself.
charges.
All right. Okay. So I have Ahmed's Ahmed question.